Have you been spinning your wheels trying to force your dreams into reality, chasing opportunities that slip away just as you reach for them? What if everything you've been taught about manifestation has it completely backwards? What if the secret isn't in the chasing at all, but in something so counterintuitive it sounds almost too simple to work? You've probably tried it all. The vision boards plastered with perfect images. The affirmations repeated until your voice goes hoarse. The endless list-making and goal-setting sessions that leave you feeling more frustrated than fulfilled. You push harder, work longer, visualize clearer, yet somehow your dreams feel further away than when you started. Here's what nobody wants to admit. The reason most people fail at creating the life they want isn't because they're not trying hard enough. It's because they're trying in the wrong direction entirely. They're operating from a fundamental misunderstanding of how reality actually works. The universe isn't a vending machine where you insert the right combination of thoughts and actions and get your desired outcome. It's something far more elegant, far more responsive, and far more aligned with your natural state of being than you've been led to believe. Today we're diving into the quantum secret that changes everything. Not another technique to add to your toolbox, but a complete reframe of how manifestation actually works. By the end of this video, you'll understand why stopping the chase is the most powerful thing you can do, and how alignment creates results that effort alone never could. But first, let me ask you something. Think about the best things that have ever happened in your life. The opportunities that appeared out of nowhere. The relationships that felt effortless. The breakthroughs that surprised you. What's the common thread? You weren't desperately grasping for them. You weren't micromanaging the process. You were in a state of openness, of receptivity, of natural flow. That's not coincidence. That's the quantum field responding to your authentic alignment. Most people approach manifestation like they're at war with reality. They decide what they want, then launch an aggressive campaign to make it happen. They strategize and hustle and force their way forward, treating the universe like an opponent to be conquered rather than a partner to dance with. This creates what I call resistance, resonance. The harder you push against what you don't want, the more energy you give it. The more desperately you chase what you do want, the more you broadcast the frequency of not having it. You become trapped in the very vibration you're trying to escape. The quantum field doesn't respond to your words or your wishes. It responds to your energetic signature, the vibrational frequency you emit moment by moment. When you're chasing, you're broadcasting lack. When you're forcing, you're transmitting desperation. When you're controlling, you're signaling that you don't trust the process. And the field, being the perfect mirror that it is, reflects that energy right back to you. This is where the radical shift happens. Instead of chasing your desires, you learn to align with them. Instead of pursuing your dreams, you become the person who naturally attracts them. Instead of trying to change your external circumstances, you transform your internal state. Alignment isn't about positive thinking or spiritual bypassing. It's not about pretending everything is perfect when it isn't. True alignment is about coming into coherent relationship with your authentic self and allowing that authenticity to guide your choices. When you're truly aligned, you stop needing to convince the universe of anything. You stop performing your desires and start embodying them. You move from the frequency of wanting to the frequency of having. Not because you're delusional, but because you recognize that everything you seek already exists within the field of infinite possibility. Let me share something that might sound radical. Your dreams aren't separate from you, waiting somewhere out there to be captured. They're part of your energetic field right now, existing as potential realities that collapse into form the moment you become a vibrational match to them. Think of it like tuning into a radio station. The music isn't created when you turn the dial. It already exists in the airwaves. Your radio simply becomes a clear receiver for the frequency you want to experience. Your consciousness works the same way. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you want to experience, you become a clear receiver for that timeline. You don't create your dreams through force. You allow them through alignment. This is why the most successful manifestors aren't the ones who try the hardest. They're the ones who have learned to hold steady in the frequency of their desired outcome, regardless of current circumstances. They've mastered the art of being rather than doing. But here's where most people get stuck. They think alignment means feeling good all the time, or pretending their current reality doesn't exist. That's not alignment, that's spiritual bypassing. True alignment includes all of your experience, even the challenging parts. Real alignment means feeling your fear without letting it drive your decisions. It means acknowledging your current circumstances without making them your identity. It means honoring your desires without becoming attached to specific outcomes. When you can hold this kind of spacious awareness, something magical happens. You start making decisions from inspiration rather than desperation. You take action from flow rather than force. You pursue your goals with excitement rather than anxiety. This shift in your approach creates a completely different energetic signature. Instead of broadcasting need, you radiate wholeness. Instead of transmitting urgency, you emit patience. Instead of signaling scarcity, you vibrate abundance. And the quantum field, always the perfect mirror, begins reflecting this new frequency back to you in the form of synchronicities, opportunities, and experiences that feel almost too good to be true. Now I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great in theory, but how does it work in practice? How do you actually shift from chasing to alignment when you have real goals, real deadlines, real responsibilities? The answer lies in understanding the difference between inspired action and desperate action. When you're aligned, action feels effortless, even when it's challenging. There's a natural flow, a sense of rightness, an inner knowing that you're moving in harmony with life rather than against it. Desperate action, on the other hand, feels heavy, forced, anxiety-driven. You take action not because it feels right, but because you think you should, or because you're afraid of what might happen if you don't. Learning to distinguish between these two types of action is crucial. Inspired action creates momentum and attracts support. Desperate action creates friction and pushes opportunities away. Here's a practical way to tell the difference. Before taking any significant action toward your goals, pause and check in with yourself. How does this action feel in your body? Does it create expansion or contraction? Does it generate excitement or anxiety? Does it feel like flow or force? Your body is an incredibly sophisticated guidance system. When you're about to take inspired action, you'll feel a sense of energy, openness, and natural momentum. When you're about to take desperate action, you'll feel tension, resistance, or a sense of pushing uphill. This doesn't mean you only take action when you feel like it. It means you learn to recognize the energetic quality behind your actions and adjust accordingly. Sometimes this means slowing down when you want to speed up. Sometimes it means taking a different approach entirely. One of the most powerful practices I've discovered is what I call the alignment pause. Whenever you notice yourself slipping into chase mode, whenever you feel that familiar grip of desperation or control, you simply pause, you take a breath, you ask yourself, what would alignment look like right now? Sometimes, alignment means taking action. Sometimes it means not taking action. Sometimes it means changing your approach, your timeline, or even your goal itself. The key is staying responsive to what actually wants to emerge, rather than forcing what you think should happen. This practice requires a fundamental shift in how you relate to uncertainty. Most people try to eliminate uncertainty through control, but uncertainty is actually the space where all possibilities live. When you can become comfortable with not knowing exactly how things will unfold, you create space for solutions and opportunities that you never could have imagined. I want to share a story that illustrates this perfectly. A few years ago, I was working with someone who was desperately trying to manifest a specific job. She had been applying, networking, and interviewing for months with no success. Every rejection felt like evidence that manifestation didn't work. When we started working together, instead of focusing on the job, we focused on alignment. We explored what she really wanted from this career change. Not just the external benefits, but the feelings, the sense of purpose, the way she wanted to show up in the world. As she got clearer on these deeper desires and began embodying them in her current situation, something interesting happened. She stopped obsessing over job postings and started paying attention to what genuinely excited her. She began taking small actions that felt inspired rather than desperate. Within 2 months, she received an offer for a position that was even better than what she had originally been chasing. But here's the kicker. It came through a connection she made while doing volunteer work that she was passionate about, not through any of her traditional job search activities. This is how alignment works. When you stop chasing specific outcomes and start embodying the essence of what you want, the universe has infinite ways to deliver it to you. But you have to trust the process enough to let go of controlling the how. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest obstacles to alignment: the belief that you have to earn your desires through struggle and sacrifice. This belief is so deeply ingrained in our culture that many people feel guilty about the idea of things coming easily. But here's the truth. The universe isn't keeping score of your suffering. Your dreams don't become more worthy because you struggled for them. In fact, struggle often indicates that you're working against the natural flow rather than with it. This doesn't mean that creating your dreams requires no effort. It means that when you're truly aligned, effort feels different. It feels like participating in something larger than yourself, rather than fighting against impossible odds. Think about activities that you naturally excel at. Whether it's cooking, writing, building things, connecting with people, or solving problems. When you're in your zone of natural ability, effort feels more like play. You might work hard, but it doesn't feel like struggle, because you're working with your innate gifts rather than against them. Manifestation works the same way. When you're aligned with what you're creating, the process feels natural, even when it's challenging. There's a sense of flow, of rightness, of being in partnership with life rather than at odds with. This brings us to another crucial aspect of alignment: releasing attachment to specific timelines. One of the fastest ways to slip out of alignment is to become rigid about when and how your desires should manifest. The quantum field operates according to its own timing, which is often different from our linear, deadline-driven expectations. When you can hold your vision clearly while remaining flexible about the timing, you allow space for the perfect orchestration of events. This doesn't mean being passive or giving up on your goals. It means trusting that there's an intelligence at work that can see the bigger picture in ways that you cannot. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually perfect timing. Sometimes what seems like a detour is actually the most direct path. I learned this lesson powerfully in my own life when I was trying to manifest a specific living situation. I had found what seemed like the perfect place and was convinced it was meant to be mine. When it fell through at the last minute, I was devastated and certain that I had failed at manifestation. But staying in alignment meant trusting that something even better was possible, even when I couldn't see it. Within a week, a friend mentioned a place that wasn't even on the market yet. It turned out to be significantly better than my original choice and available at exactly the right time. The lesson? Your limited perspective can't always see the full picture of what's trying to emerge. Sometimes the best thing you can do is get out of your own way and let life surprise you. This is why one of the most powerful manifestation practices is gratitude for what hasn't happened yet. Instead of feeling frustrated about delays or detours, you can choose to trust that everything is unfolding in perfect timing for reasons you may not understand yet. Now, let's address one of the most common questions I receive. How do you stay aligned when your current reality looks nothing like what you want to create? This is where the practice of bridging becomes essential. Bridging means finding ways to experience the essence of what you want to create within your current circumstances, even in small ways. If you want to manifest abundance, but you're currently struggling financially, you might practice generosity with your time, attention, or emotional support. If you want to manifest love but you're single, you might focus on loving yourself more fully, or appreciating the relationships you already have. The key is not to pretend your current circumstances don't exist, but to recognize that there are always aspects of what you desire that you can cultivate right now. This isn't about settling or giving up on your dreams. It's about acknowledging that the energy of what you want to create is available to you in this moment. When you practice bridging, you begin to experience yourself as someone who already has access to the essence of your desires. This subtle shift in identity creates a powerful change in your energetic signature, which the quantum field then reflects back to you in increasingly obvious ways. Another crucial element of staying aligned is learning to interpret challenges differently. Most people see obstacles as evidence that they're off track, or that manifestation isn't working. But from an alignment perspective, challenges are often signs that you're growing into the person who can receive what you're asking for. Every level of manifestation requires a corresponding level of personal development. Sometimes what looks like a setback is actually life helping you develop the capacity, wisdom, or strength needed to handle your expanded reality. This reframe transforms your relationship with difficulty. Instead of seeing problems as roadblocks, you can see them as invitations to grow. Instead of interpreting delays as failures, you can recognize them as preparation time. When you can maintain this perspective, you naturally stay more aligned even during challenging periods. You're less likely to panic, force, or abandon your vision when things don't go according to plan. Let me share another practical tool that I've found incredibly helpful for maintaining alignment: the daily alignment check-in. Every morning before you start your day, take a few minutes to ask yourself these questions. What energy am I bringing to this day? Am I approaching my goals from alignment or from desperation? What would it look like to move through today as someone who already has what I'm creating? How can I embody that energy in my choices today? This simple practice helps you start each day from an aligned state rather than defaulting to old patterns of forcing and chasing. It doesn't take long, but it can completely transform the quality of your experience and the results you create. Similarly, before you go to sleep, you can do an alignment review. Instead of focusing on what didn't work or what you still lack, ask yourself, where did I experience alignment today? What moments felt effortless and flowing? How did I embody the energy of my desired reality? This practice trains your attention to notice and appreciate the experiences of alignment, which then naturally creates more of them. What you appreciate. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when people start practicing alignment: the fear that they're being lazy or not doing enough. Our culture has taught us to equate activity with productivity and effort with worthiness. So the idea of allowing rather than forcing can feel uncomfortable. But there's a crucial distinction between alignment and passivity. Alignment isn't about sitting around waiting for things to happen. It's about taking action from a place of inspiration and flow, rather than desperation and force. When you're aligned, you often find yourself taking more effective action with less effort. You're naturally drawn to the opportunities and connections that serve your highest good. You make decisions with greater clarity and confidence. This is because alignment connects you with your authentic power rather than your ego's agenda. Your authentic power knows what wants to emerge through you and can guide you toward the most direct path. Your ego, on the other hand, is often driven by fear, comparison, and the need to prove itself. Learning to distinguish between these two sources of motivation is essential for sustainable manifestation. Actions taken from authentic power tend to create lasting results with less struggle. Actions taken from ego tend to create temporary gains that require constant maintenance. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with the most important insight of all. Manifestation isn't ultimately about getting what you want. It's about discovering who you really are and allowing that truth to express itself in your life. Your deepest desires aren't arbitrary wishes. They're clues to your authentic nature, invitations to become more fully yourself. When you approach manifestation from this perspective, the process becomes less about acquiring external things and more about uncovering internal treasures. This shift transforms everything. Instead of feeling like you need to become someone different to deserve your dreams, you realize that your dreams are calling you to become more authentically yourself. Instead of trying to manipulate reality to match your preferences, you align with the reality that wants to emerge through your unique expression. This is the quantum secret that changes everything. You don't have to chase your dreams because your dreams are already seeking you. You don't have to force doors to open because the right doors will open naturally when you're vibrating at the right frequency. You don't have to prove your worthiness because your worthiness is inherent in your very existence. Your job isn't to make things happen. Your job is to align with what wants to happen and then participate consciously in its unfolding. This is the dance of co-creation, where you and the universe move together in perfect harmony. So I invite you to experiment with this approach. For the next week, instead of focusing on what you want to get, focus on who you want to be. Instead of chasing opportunities, embody the energy that attracts them. Instead of trying to control outcomes, align with the process and trust what emerges. Notice how this feels different in your body. Pay attention to the quality of your thoughts and emotions. Observe what kinds of experiences and opportunities show up when you operate from this place of alignment, rather than chasing. Remember, this isn't about perfection. There will be moments when you slip back into old patterns of force and control. That's completely normal and part of the process. The key is to notice when it happens and gently return to alignment without judgment. Every time you choose alignment over chasing, you strengthen your capacity to create from flow rather than force. Every time you embody your desired reality before it manifests physically, you accelerate its arrival. Every time you trust the process instead of controlling it, you deepen your partnership with the quantum field. This is how dreams become reality, not through desperate pursuit, but through conscious alignment. Not through forcing outcomes, but through embodying possibilities. Not through chasing what you lack, but through recognizing what you already are. The quantum secret isn't a technique or a strategy. It's a way of being, a return to your natural state of creative power. When you stop chasing and start aligning, you discover that everything you've been seeking has been seeking you too. If this resonates with you, if something inside you recognizes the truth of what we've explored today, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Your engagement helps this wisdom reach more people who are ready to transform their approach to creating their dreams. And in the comments below, share one word that captures the energy you're choosing to embody moving forward. Maybe it's trust, flow, alignment, or something uniquely yours. Let that word be your anchor as you begin experimenting with this new way of being. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Thank you for being open to a different way of creating. Thank you for being willing to stop chasing and start aligning. The world needs what you came here to create. And now you have the quantum secret to create it with grace, ease, and authentic power. Remember, your dreams aren't destinations to reach. They're frequencies to embody. Stop chasing and start aligning, and watch as your reality transforms in ways that will amaze and delight you. If you enjoy this kind of content and want to see how advanced your mind is, you can subscribe to my channel and like the video.